Guys, welcome. Hi everybody, welcome to Maker's Studio. I am so glad to have you here today. You guys, my name is Kim and I blog at Salvaged Living, where I do easy DIY for a life and home redeemed, and I would absolutely love to have you join me on any of my social media like Facebook or Instagram or over on the blog to see lots of fun projects. But most of all, I'm just excited to be here with you on the Maker Studio today because we always do fun things here and there's such beautiful projects. So I truly hope that today inspires you. We are going to do something really fun for the pumpkin spice holiday. You guys know that is pumpkin spice everything is fabulous, and I have a confession to make. This was my first year to try a pumpkin spice latte and it lived up to the hype. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. I like all the pumpkin things and all the colors of fall. They're just so amazing. It's my favorite. So I want to hear if you love fall as much as I do. Do you order a pumpkin spice latte or do you guys get a different flavor of coffee? I'm kind of curious if you're all in on the pumpkin spice or not. Today though, we're going all in. I'm going to show you a little project we're going to make. I'm going to talk about all the tools I'm going to use to make it real quick so that you can gather your supplies if you want to craft with me. And one lucky person is going to get a freebie, a free stencil. So you're going to want to tag 3 friends, 3 of your pumpkin spice besties, and let them know about this project, about this page, and Maker Studio is going to pick one lucky winner. So that's super fun. Make sure that you tell us in the comments and that you've tagged people and tag them, and let's get to talking about the supplies. So I am going to use this precious Pumpkin Flavored Everything stenciled. It's called Pumpkin Everything, and I've already been playing around with it. It is just super cute. Just like all of the stencils, you can use the parts and pieces if you want to. So you could easily use just some of the words. You could use the outside of the pumpkin. You could use just the cute little curly cues at the top. So don't forget that you can definitely use all the parts and pieces of the stencils and mix and match them to make things your very own. Today we're going to make a pillow. So I don't know if you know this, but Maker Studio has some great blanks. This is a blank pillowcase. I love it. It's got a zipper at the bottom. So you just put it on your pillow, you know, it's a pillow cover. And that's great for all the pillow hoarders in the world like me, because then you can easily just store your pillow covers instead of having to store 5 jillion pillows and then pull them out for the holidays. So this is going to be a great fall pillow. I grabbed some ribbon, some pumpkin ribbon and some just good fall colored ribbons to use on this pillow. So make sure you grab something, and if you don't find exactly the ribbon I have, just, you know, use whatever your style is, and there's tons of inks to go with your color palette. I promise you're going to find something. Today we're going to be using the gel art inks because that is what you're going to want to use when you're doing a fabric project, okay? So I'm going to be using 3 different colors. I'm using the Lord Have Mercy, the Hold Your Horses, and Well I Swanee. Okay, so this is kind of an orange, a grayish tone, and brown. Like I said, you can mix and match whatever colors you want. This is just what I'm choosing to use today. But you do want to use the gel art ink if you're going to do this on a pillow cover like I am, because it's going to be fabric safe and permanent. It's going to be your permanent paint choice for this kind of a project. And I'll talk a little bit about how to heat set your paint so that we make sure that this is a beautiful pillow that will last you forever. Now you have a couple choices. You can use a Fabri-Tac glue in this project. I'm going to use a hot glue gun just for the sake of ease today. And it's a little bit quicker. And if you're not going to wash your pillows and stuff a bunch, hot glue would be fine. So it just depends on how, you know, what application you're going to do with this pillow. So I'm going to flip the camera down so that you can see exactly what I'm doing, and we'll talk through how to do this project. So here we go. Don't forget, before we get started, to tag those friends and let them know about this project. So here we go. I'm going to flip the camera for you guys. Okay guys, here we go. Here is our pillow cover. I think it's always nice to run a light iron over it just to have a nice, clean, straight work surface. I'm making sure that the pillowcase zipper is at the bottom, just so that will look better when the zipper, the pillow is finished. And then what I want to show you is that I kind of want to lay out my ribbon a little bit so that I have sort of a framework for my stencil. I'm gonna do a little bit of layering of some ribbon, so that kind of just helps me know where to put my stencil. If you're new to Maker Studio, these are amazing stencils. They are repositionable, they're re-adhesive, I don't know if that's a word, but they're mesh stencils, so it's a lot like silk screening. Allows you to get a really nice, crisp finish with your paints on your surfaces, whatever surface you use, whether that's wood or fabric. You just want to get it pressed down really nice so that you can get that good crisp finish. And now that we have that in place, I'm going to go ahead and get these out of the way. You guys let me know, do you use the stencils? Do you love the stencils? Do you have questions about the stencils? We'll answer in the comments any questions that you might have. To get started, I'm going to use the Well I Swanee. It's the brown color. I'm going to go ahead and just put a little in a little bit of a tray over here. And I'm going to use one of these small brushes to get that color right where I want it. But I do still think you need to use a squeegee to get it squished down and through the mesh to get the good clean stencil. So I'll show you how I'm going to do that in just a sec. But I'm going to go ahead and get this started with getting this painted on right where I want it. You can also always tape off the parts and pieces of the project that you don't want to get whatever color you're working with painted, if that makes sense. So put this over here. For little small areas like this, these are great tools that you can just sort of push through really lightly onto that stencil to make sure you get these little things if you don't want to use the big squeegee and risk, you know, getting it all over your pillowcase or in areas that you're not really intending to get that color paint. I find this little bitty squeegee tool to be oh so useful. Kind of lets you see what you're doing a little bit. You can push the paint around really easily with this. Or at least I think you can. Have you guys used this tool yet? I find it to be quite the lifesaver for intricate details. So there, you can kind of tell where you've gotten your canvas colored and where you haven't with this, in my opinion. So next, while I have that brown out and on my brush, I want to do kind of like an ombre effect. So I'm going to do orange all around, but I want to do a little bit of this flavored and everything in different colors. Just like the feel of that. It's a little more interesting. So I'm going to do the flavored part in brown, the words flavored. Gonna have to get a little more. Luckily, this paint goes such a long way. You use very little. Remember, we're using the gel art inks, okay, you guys? There's chalk art that you can use if you're going to use a project that's, you know, wood or some type of surface, especially if you want to be able to wash it and resurface it, re-stencil, re-whatever, then that's going to be your friend in that kind of project. The gel art inks are permanent inks. They do need to be heat set. We'll talk about that in a sec, but I'm just trying to get this right where I want it. You can see that, you know, I'm trying to get it just on this word. And like I said, you could use a painter's tape to cover up the parts that you don't want. What I thought would be fun, though, is to go ahead and pull this up a little bit into the pumpkin part and make an ombre type effect. So we're going to just loosely do that through the pumpkin part. You'll see how that'll all come together in a sec. So while I'm working on this, and you want to work while you're you know, make sure you get this done before your paint starts to dry. So this we're just going to push up in a little bit of an ombre kind of scattered effect here. I don't want it to be solid in that middle part. I do want the word flavored to be solid. So I'm going to make sure I'm getting that done really well here. And you want to push the paint through the stencil, but you don't want to overwork it because you don't want it to bleed. And if you have a good adhesion with your surface, on your surface and your stencil, it shouldn't be a problem. But you can push a little too much and sometimes get a little bit of a bleed. So you can kind of see I'm just making this very not straight, I guess. I don't know what word to use in this pumpkin part. Okay, so next, what I'm going to do is clean my little utensil. I'm going to get the orange out. It's a bright, fun orange. I really like it. I have another one of these brushes, and I'm just going to start all over. I want the outside of this to be done in orange as well, the whole pumpkin. So you can see how that small squeegee tool really comes in handy on this project. I think it's fun to blend colors, so don't be afraid to do that. And I love how you can basically paint. So we're going to leave that everything. Remember I told you we're going to do that another color, and you don't have to do that. You can do it all one color. You can do a fun, you know, if you do blues or teals for the hot falls, you can mix your colors, just fun. Okay, so now that I have that, I'm going to take this, go over the words, make sure I get those done. It's just a fun, relaxing project. And I love how crisp these stencils come out. It's just a whole, it just took stencils up like 500 notches. It's so fun. All right, so I'm just doing really small bits. I need to get a little more right here. Your ink will start to dry if you don't work quickly enough on these little projects. So, you know, move through it as fast as you can without compromising what you're doing. I need a little more orange in that middle. And sometimes it kind of looks like a hot mess from the back, I think. Need a little more down the side and a little more here. All right, so I'm going to make sure I get that orange blended in the middle. Get the pumpkin done. All right, now last but not least, I'm going to do a little bit of gray across the bottom. I think it's good to have a couple of these brushes on hand so you can just work through it really quickly and not have to worry about stopping and cleaning your brushes because it's going to let your paint dry. This one's a little, I'm going to use just the tip of this. If you don't have the squeegee set, you guys, I really recommend it because it is so useful to have all the different shapes and sizes for the different projects that you're going to want to do. All right, so there we are. Pull that off and look at that nice, crisp, amazing lines. How cute. We have a little bit of ombre going on. I love that. Now, when you take your stencil off, I want you guys to make sure you put it in a tub of water or go wash it immediately so that your paint doesn't dry in your stencil and ruin your stencil. That's just a big tip to get longevity out of your stencils, you guys. So now we're going to decorate this a little bit more. I'm going to take, oops, I couldn't find my scissors. All right, I'm going to cut this ribbon just slightly longer than the pillow. And then on one side, I'm going to do a little row bead of, like I said, you can use fabric glue or you can use hot glue, whatever you want. Fabric glue is gonna be a little better if you're gonna wash this pillowcase, whatever your goals are there. So I'm just folding the edge of it to give it a nice clean edge so it doesn't have like a cut edge, and just glued that down. See, then it makes it a nice cut edge. So do that on one side and then hold it down. And then over here, you're gonna figure out exactly how long to fold that piece over to make it the right, width for the pillow. And I'm gonna cut a little bit of that excess off because I don't want a large overhang. Put some hot glue. You might want to heat set your stenciled part first before you do all of this. And that's up to you. But if you do, the way that you heat set this to make sure that your paint is permanent is you're gonna get a thin cloth or a towel. Let this dry completely. You can let it dry naturally. It'll take a little while, a couple hours. Sometimes I use a heat gun to speed the process up, but you can let it dry naturally, and once it's dry, then you're going to lay a thin towel over it, and you're going to use your iron, and with an iron, you're going to just hold the iron down and move it quite a bit. You want your ink to get up to about 287 degrees, so use the settings on your iron to figure out where you need to be for that. And let it sit on there a few minutes, moving it around to bring that paint up to temperature, and that will heat set your paint for a permanent washable finish. All right, I'm doing the same thing up here as I did down there. Just fold that over, get that nice clean edge. This is a no-sew extra pillow, and you guys, I don't sew. Do y'all sew? Tell me in the comments if you sew. If you do, bless you. My mom sews, and she sews beautifully. She sews amazing. It just skipped a generation. Every time I get a sewing machine out, I'm like, oh, why did I do that? I'm not very good at it, and don't really all the way have the patience for it, I guess, maybe. I don't know, but I'm glad my mom can sew. I have to get by with this kind of a no-sew project. I think there's probably more of us that don't sew than do, so I'm hoping you guys are with me on this. Okay, so we're almost done. Get this folded over just right. And then we're gonna glue this down and have an amazing, precious pumpkin spiced pillow cover. Pumpkin flavored everything. Love you more. All right. Want to get it good on the edge. There we go. Just get that put down, ironed out flat. Same thing down here. You guys, we are about good to go on a pumpkin pillow. How cute is that? I love the fact that you could just mix and match whatever cute ribbons that you find. And with the stencil, you have the ability to use whatever colors that you want to make it your own, to go with your color palette and your taste. That's the best thing about DIY. So you guys, don't forget that Maker Studio is giving away one of these Pumpkin Everything stencils to one lucky winner. Invite your friends and make sure you do that in the comments. Tell us in the comments and they will select a winner to mail this to. Now all you do is get some nice pillow inserts, and you can get these pillow covers from Maker Studio. They're fabulous. And you could do these as gifts, as home decor. Just remember to order a few and have them on stock seasonally. And there you go, pumpkin flavored everything. Yay! Thanks for hanging out with us today, guys. I appreciate it. It was so great to see you here. Bye.